If you had opened their Instagram page on that cold November morning, you would have seen perfection. A smiling husband kissing his wife on the beach. Two beautiful children laughing beside a swimming pool. Family vacations. Birthday celebrations. Romantic anniversary posts. Thousands of followers commented the same thing. Couple goals. The perfect family. I wish I had a marriage like this. What nobody knew was that behind those carefully filtered photos was a nightmare so dark that it would eventually end in murder. And by the time the truth came out, it was already too late. In 2018, 34-year-old Emily Carter lived what appeared to be a dream life in a quiet suburb outside Melbourne, Australia. She was intelligent, kind, and devoted to her two young children. Her husband, Daniel, was charismatic and successful. Friends described him as charming. He knew exactly what to say and exactly how to make people like him. Online, they looked inseparable. Every holiday was documented. Every family dinner was photographed. Every anniversary came with long emotional captions about love and loyalty. But behind closed doors, the marriage had been collapsing for years. Emily's closest friends later revealed that Daniel controlled nearly every aspect of her life. He monitored her spending, read her messages, questioned where she went, and whenever she confronted him, he became cold and manipulative. Yet Emily stayed, mostly for the children, mostly because she believed things would eventually improve. She was wrong. In early 2019, Emily discovered something shocking. Daniel had been living a secret double life. While publicly portraying himself as a devoted husband, he had multiple relationships with other women. Some of them didn't even know he was married. When Emily confronted him, witnesses later said the argument became explosive. Friends noticed a sudden change. The smiling Instagram photos continued. But in private, Emily began telling people she was afraid. Not afraid of divorce. Afraid of Daniel himself. One friend would later tell investigators something chilling. Emily had said, "If anything happens to me, look at my husband." At the time, nobody took the comments seriously. They wished they had. A few months later, Emily vanished. Daniel told police she had left after a fight. According to him, she packed a bag, walked out, and never returned. At first, the story sounded believable. Marriages end. People leave. Arguments happen. But detectives quickly noticed strange details. Emily's phone was still inside the house. Her passport remained untouched. Her car was parked in the driveway. Most importantly, she had left behind her children. Everyone who knew Emily agreed on one thing. She would never abandon them. Never. As investigators dug deeper, Daniel appeared strangely calm. Too calm. While volunteers searched for his missing wife, he continued posting on Instagram photos of family memories, inspirational quotes, pictures suggesting he was a grieving husband desperately hoping for her return. Followers flooded the comments with sympathy. Many believed he was the victim, but detectives were beginning to see a very different picture. Then came the breakthrough. Police obtained security footage from a service station located several miles from the family home. The footage showed Daniel driving late at night, alone. What caught investigators' attention wasn't where he was going. It was what happened afterward. The GPS data from his vehicle revealed several unexplained stops in remote areas outside the city. Places he had never mentioned. Places with no obvious reason to visit. When police searched those locations, they found evidence that shattered his story. Evidence that suggested Emily had never left voluntarily. Evidence that pointed directly toward murder. Detectives uncovered financial records showing Daniel was drowning in debt. Despite the luxury lifestyle displayed online, his finances were a disaster. Credit cards were maxed out. Loans were overdue. And hidden among the paperwork was something even more disturbing. A substantial life insurance policy. One that would pay out a large sum if Emily died. Suddenly, investigators had a possible motive. Money. A motive as old as crime itself. The case exploded across Australia. News outlets covered every development. People became obsessed with the mystery. How could a family that looked so perfect be hiding something so horrific? The answer came during Daniel's interrogation. Detectives presented the evidence piece by piece. Phone records, GPS data, financial documents, witness statements. For hours he denied everything. Then his story began changing. Small details shifted. Timelines stopped matching. Excuses became contradictions. The image of the perfect husband was starting to crack. Months later, search teams discovered Emily's remains in a remote wooded area. The nation was horrified. The woman who had spent years smiling in family photographs had been dead almost from the moment she disappeared. Investigators concluded that Daniel had carefully planned the murder. He believed he could hide behind the image he had spent years creating online. The loving husband, the devoted father, the perfect family man. He thought nobody would ever suspect him. He was wrong. During the trial, prosecutors revealed the disturbing truth. The Instagram account had become part of the deception. While the marriage was falling apart, Daniel continued posting happy photos. While arguments intensified, he posted romantic captions. While secretly preparing for murder, he was presenting a fantasy to thousands of followers. The contrast shocked the courtroom. The perfect family had never existed. It was a performance, a carefully constructed illusion. In the end, Daniel was convicted and sentenced to life in prison. As the verdict was read, many people reflected on a lesson they would never forget. Social media had shown only smiles, only vacations, only happiness. But behind the filters, behind the captions, behind the carefully staged photographs, a tragedy had been unfolding in silence. The account that once inspired envy now served as evidence. Proof that appearances can be dangerously deceiving. Because sometimes the most terrifying secrets aren't hidden in dark alleys or abandoned buildings. Sometimes they're hidden behind perfect family photos. And sometimes the person smiling beside you in the picture is the one you should fear the most.